right, good morning, folks. Yeah, welcome to the press release of the recent news of Ozark Aeroworks acquiring basically the type certificate of the T53 engine from Honeywell Aerospace. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mike O'Reilly. I'm the CEO of Eagle Copters. Eagle is a helicopter leasing, repair, and overhaul company based out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. For well over 30 years, Eagle would use or overhauled our own T53 engine line. 7 years ago, I made a decision to shut that engine line down, and I reached out to my friend Ken Essery at Ozark, and we developed a plan to move our engine overhaul business to Missouri at Ozark in partnership with Ken. And so for the past 7 years, we've utilized exclusively the Ozark Aeroworks engine shop for Eagle's lease portfolio requirements for the T53 engine. Recently, it became known to us that Honeywell was going to license the type certificate of the engine. And we became involved in that project, ultimately closing the transaction just before Christmas in 2021. We are now the proud owners of the engine line, and we look very much forward to improving a number of things on that front based on our vast knowledge of operating this engine. So I'm fortunate to be partnered with Ken. We look forward to all the changes that are going to be coming along this engine line, and without further ado, I will turn it over to my friend Ken to explain some more detail about that.
Excellent, very good, thank you. It's great to see everyone here. Thank you to the media for coming and allowing us this opportunity to share our excitement in what is certainly a unique endeavor. As many of you know, acquisitions of engine type certificates are fairly uncommon in this industry. This particular engine started its life as AFCO Lycoming product, then Textron Lycoming, but basically the same organization. Then in 1994 it was acquired by Allied Signal and relocated to Phoenix. From there was another, actually Allied Signal acquired Honeywell, and then they decided to maintain the Honeywell brand. Did I get that right, Greg? Greg Carlone's here with us. He's representing Honeywell, by the way. So if you have any questions specifically about Honeywell's perspective, Greg's here to answer those. So throughout the years, I mean, this engine's been around, initiated in the late 50s. As you all know, Vietnam era equipment. Hueys, Cobras. It's a great power plant. Over the years, it's been updated consistently to improve its performance, reliability, and viability in the industry. Soon after it was strong in the military arena, it was quickly made a commercial machine, and that's when Mike and his father, Mel O'Reilly, that founded Eagle Copters, became involved, and this engine's been utilized on Bell 204s, 205s, 210s, and the K-Max, of course. It's powered that aircraft since its inception, and also the Eagle single machine. Eagle has an STC to remove the PT6 twin pack and install the T53 engine on a Bell 212. So it's a long, very successful history in the T53 engine, and we're very proud to have been associated with that. Mike and I personally have been working on and around this engine for well over 40 years. Sorry, Mike. But so the engine means a lot to us. So I think in that aspect, it's a very unique transaction. Probably one of the few engine type certificate acquisitions where the acquirers have this level of in-depth knowledge of the engine, the applications, and the passion for this product. This couldn't happen without Eagle's support, absolutely, from a financial, a contractual support, from working the proposal. Jason Denise back there, he's the president of Eagle. And when did you come on board, Jason? August. So as soon as he walked in the door at Eagle, Mike told him, "You're going to help Ken with this proposal and working with Honeywell to get this acquisition done." And he's put boots on the ground and done a yeoman's effort in helping us make this happen. Definitely a team effort, and that's what it's going to take to make this transition work. The synergies between our companies, Eagle has a very strong engineering program already in place with engineers and experience, many STCs, for example, the Bell 407 HP aircraft. It's a wonderful machine and design, and Eagle's engineers made that happen along with the maintenance and modification teams. So with our synergies in that regard and our history of being a premier T53 MRO facility, originally authorized by Honeywell, now authorized by ourselves, which is also a unique situation, very enjoyable. We have that experience and knowledge of the engine, I think will benefit the flying public a great deal. And along with that, in our proposal and to execute this transition, we've formed a strong team outside of Eagle and Ozark, which includes Norcatec. And here from Norcatec, we've got Tom Duncan, VP, Sam Gorman, President, Swami Del Rio, who runs the actual program, the director of the T53 program. And I'm sorry, but can you introduce? I'm sorry? And yeah, also from Norcatec here with us today. And Norcatec stepped up to the plate in this proposal, and they've agreed to continue as our worldwide distributor of T53 spare parts. And they are also investing millions of dollars in the acquisition of spare parts to support this program and really help mitigate any transition hiccups that might occur due to supply chain issues. So we appreciate Norcatec's support, and they were involved in the proposal development and everything as well. And also on the team, we have X-Tex, which is a Command Aerospace company. Larry Schimbaugh. Larry, would you introduce your boss there to us as well? Very good. I appreciate you gentlemen being here today to support this. X-Tex agreed to be part of the proposal team and also support this program as licensed manufacturer of our parts. So rather than starting up greenfield production activities, we're going to be working with X-Tex, who's an experienced Part 21 parts manufacturer. So we'll be licensing them to manufacture these parts, and they're going to help us during the Honeywell transition by, approving and certifying the parts that are already in the WIP for this program, which are actually millions of dollars of material that are in production now. So again, that's mitigation of risk and using strengths of our relationships and partners to make this a very solid transition. I'm looking forward to this. It's been a great effort. Our transition cutover is targeted for March 31st. So close December 22nd, cutover March 31st. That's a pretty aggressive timeline. But honestly, we're on track. And the only way we can be on track is with the help of Honeywell, with the help of Norcatec, Eagle Copters, obviously, and X-Tex. So it's a strong team, and we look forward to a great success. We've got a lot of operators that use this machine from firefighting, industrial, logging, police, foreign militaries. Even the U.S. Air Force still flies what they call the TH-1, which is a Huey-2 version. So the U.S. Air Force training facility in Alabama, Fort Rucker, still flying this machine. So it's important that we maintain this engine and keep it viable. And actually our plans are to improve the engine and extend the longevity and the lifespan of this engine well into the future. So do you think of anything else, Mike?
No, I think you got it covered, Ken. Yeah.
Okay.
Doing good, yeah.
Very good. Well, if that's, I guess that's it. So if we'll just open up to questions, if you have any. Sir.
Can you give some, maybe an example or two of how you intend to improve the performance of the engine?
Okay.
Or how you'd like to improve the performance?
Yes, we're going to focus initially on the carbon seals of the engine, which have been a challenge. We've had a lot of premature issues of carbon seals leaking, so that's one of the things we touched on in yesterday's technical briefing. So we're going to focus on the reliability aspect of the carbon seals initially. There are some best practices that need to be implemented in the maintenance manuals, so we've got a lot of work to do there. I think that's, well, hasn't been a real strong focus for the last several years, and sometimes folks can stray in their processes a little bit, and we want to try to get all the heads together. Our service center network, which we're going to retain, the current service center network. There's a lot of very smart people with lots of experience in that network, and we've got a lot of wonderful customers that have a great deal of experience, and we're going to increase communication and collaboration with those folks and try to develop some best practices that'll help maintain the engine more efficiently. As far as any significant improvements, at this point, there have been some pretty good improvements done already that most of the service centers are implementing that are within the confines of the current approved data. That, you know, we're getting 70, 80 degree margins on the 17 series engines, which is incredibly strong and efficient. I know the K-Max customers have been very pleased with the recent performance numbers on those engines, likewise with the Eagle Single. So we're open to suggestions on performance enhancement, but at this point we're going to focus on maintenance and reliability areas initially.
Could I ask about the volumes, numbers involved in terms of the fleet size?
Oh, excellent question. You know, originally there were 19,000 of these produced, but we're down to approximately 1,800 active engines, which for us is still a very viable fleet size. And our mission is to at least maintain that, if not increase that, especially working with our partners at Command. We'd like to get several more new ships out there and increase the number of engines.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the next
So
question.
who would do the manufacturing? You're talking about manufacturing T53s.
Well, right now, we're providing overhaul engines to Command for the K-Max aircraft. These engines have all new rotating components. So that's currently what we're doing. If we had an opportunity to produce a significant quantity of engines, and we're going to be investigating that and seeing what that magic number is, then we would have conversations about producing new engines. But at this point, there's no immediate plan to produce new. Yes?
Yeah, so what you're saying is that the engine went out of production and now the market has been served for the last, what kind of period with overall?
I think probably the last 20 years, right, Greg?
Probably 20 years.
20 years, right.
And owning the type certificate for the engine, how does that benefit your overhaul business?
Well, the overhaul business, well, we're going to work very closely with our service center network and our master distributor to try to improve the supply chain situation. You know, castings for blades, forging for gears and discs and so forth are very long lead items. So we have to get ahead of the curve and get these forgings and castings on order with adequate timing so that we don't have supply chain issues. And that's one of the benefits that we're going to have working with our partners at Command, X-Tex, and Norcatec and our customer base will be able to, I think, improve the status of the supply chain and therefore, make it a better situation for the operators. At the end of the day, we'll also use some forecasting to do higher volume purchasing, negotiating with suppliers, with X-Tex to try to reduce the cost, the actual fab cost of the parts. And when we're successful with that, because I fully intend to be, then we'll see some price reductions for the spare parts.
And if you talk about the customer base, could you give me an appreciation for civil, military, North America, the rest of the world?
Yeah, I mean, our largest international operators are the Japanese Ministry of Defense, for example. There's well over 160 aircraft with T-53s operating in Colombia, the Colombian National Police, Colombian Air Force, Colombian Army. Philippine Air Force is still a viable user of this machine, so you've got a lot of foreign military still involved, several of them to a lesser extent than those. And then on the commercial side, you've got some really awesome operators that are flying the K-MAX aircraft, the Bell 205s, you know, Helicopter Express, Mountain Blade Runner, Mountain West, Hillcrest, HeliQuest. There's just a long list of very outstanding customers that are operating these aircraft, and we appreciate them, and our goal is to make them comfortable and confident in this engine so that they continue to utilize it in their fleets, you know, for years to come. That's really the ultimate goal. Letting them catch up, the pins are busy. I can talk fast sometimes, I apologize.
So just to clarify, Ozark owns the type certificate.
We have purchased the type certificate, the product line. We're in the process of transition. The type certificate hasn't transferred to us yet.
Right.
We anticipate the end of this month. That's our target.
Okay. Thank you.
It's an asset purchase license agreement, actually, so that we purchase the product line, the type certificate. We license the intellectual property from Honeywell for forever. It's a never-ending license agreement.
Maybe mention our new facility?
Thank you, Chad. Yes, as part of this, our growth that we've experienced, we are relocating in Springfield, Missouri still, but into a new to us facility that's 73,000 square feet of MR&O processes and repair processes and quality system capabilities, measuring capabilities, NDT, all of those activities will be in this new facility. So we're excited about that. We're taking on a lot. So it's going to be a very busy 2022 for us. We've already started moving some equipment, so we expect to be fully relocated by September, October timeframe of this year.
Do you have to add an engineering capability when you become a type certificate holder?
Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we have on contract an FAA DER, Paul Elliott. We also have a very strong engineering team located at Eagle, so we're using shared services with Eagle basically, which has been very helpful. Of course, Larry Shimbob and X-Tex have a very strong engineering department in their business. We're also adding staff, engineering staff on site as well. Because part of this is also taking care of the test cell correlations for our entire network. It includes design and fabrication of test equipment, special tooling, all of those things. So yes, we're going to have a fairly robust engineering staff. So I appreciate that question, and we're actually looking for propulsion engineers. So if anyone hears this and is interested in moving to the Ozarks, give me a call. Put that plug in.
So the facility you're moving to, is it bigger than what you currently have?
Yes, we're moving. We've got currently 38,000 square feet,
Okay.
so we're going from that to 73. So a little breathing room.
And a
Yes, sir.
question for Mike. As a lessor and fleet operator of this aircraft, what's the benefit you see for Eagle and for Eagle's customers?
Yeah, listen, you know, we just finished a deal with Honeywell, but I would tell you that from my perspective as an operator, as a user of the engine, and I'm trying to be delicate here, but Honeywell made the decision to do this because I think they legitimately felt that the engine would be in better hands, and their business model was moving away from you know, the type of activity or support that was required from the industry as the numbers of users was reducing. So from my perspective, from the operator's perspective, I can probably tell you categorically that this change will be viewed as a very positive thing. You know, between Ken and myself, we're fully aware of the things that we felt were troubling in Honeywell's hands. I guess I would say the lack of attention to the issues that were constantly plaguing us, if you will. So, you know, from the operator's perspective, from my perspective as a lessor, we're finally getting the engine into hands that can directly deal with many issues that I think will be handled more quickly, more directly, and ultimately benefit of course, the end users, the lessors, significantly. So that's the outcome we're looking for.